Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. I hope everybody's doing well. It is the day after Thanksgiving. Imagine that, Black Friday. Awesome. I hope, like you, most of you stayed away from this. Like me, I hope most of you stayed away from the stores today. But we're going to give it a few minutes here. We're going to talk about our dependency on electricity, or should I say our addiction to electricity. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. In a live stream. So we're going to give it a couple minutes for people to obviously get in here. And but I just want to remind everybody, hey Sean, how you doing tonight? Robert, how are you? So anyway, I want to remind everybody that it's a very family-friendly oriented channel. Okay, to please be decent to each other. If you are not, my awesome moderators are going to boot you out of here and you will be gone.
And if you're mean, I'll be sad.
Yes, if you're mean, and Heather will be sad. So anyway, again, if once I'm done talking, if you have comments, questions, or whatever you want to say, if you would put them all into cap lock so it stands out for me. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to give it a minute. I have something I want to talk about separate. We have to help out a fellow prepper in the prepping community, and I'm going to talk about that in a little while, and we'll get into that in a little bit, okay? But so we'll wait till we got more than 150 people in the chat before we do that. But there is Heather, so hello, Heather.
Hello.
Welcome. She is home for the weekend, so yeah. It is nice to see her. So we'll see. We're going to give it just a minute here, guys, before we get it. We're going to talk about the topic first a little bit, and then we'll get into some other stuff. But I do want to remind people, I will talk about this real quick. You can still get registered for the 75,000 subscriber giveaway. Okay. That is, I'm going to be doing that drawing. It's going to be on Sunday night during my live stream, and I'm not going to tell you at what point. You're going to have to get here and see. So hopefully we have a big crowd for that. That would be really, really nice. So guys, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask early today because I only see we got 72 and almost 200 people in the chat already.
2 minutes in.
2 minutes in, right? Of course. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, if you would do that, that would be great. But to be able to be in the drawing for the giveaway, you have to go to my video that says 75,000 subscriber giveaway. It's really easy to find. And make sure that you are a subscriber to the channel because you have to be able to be in the contest. Make sure you thumbs up and make a comment on that video, and then you are automatically in the contest. So that's a great way to make sure that you get in the contest right away. Okay. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to do it really quickly in the beginning here. Legacy still has its sale going on. The Black Friday sale that actually started yesterday. They're still doing the 720 meal package. That's still going on, and that's going to go on till the 2nd of December. And that one is normally $1,899. It is $1,099, so it's an $800 savings. So if you're interested in that one, please feel free to take advantage of that. The second sale that they're doing is a 60 meal bucket is what they're doing. And that one is normally $185, and that is reduced right now down to $140. So it's a good opportunity to take advantage of that if you were looking to add to your freeze-dried food storage. Okay, all the business is now taken care of, so we got that out of the way.
For everyone asking, which is like everyone, school's going well. Semester's almost over.
See, somebody just said, he said straight A's, question mark?
That's why I said that. It is going well.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Thank you for the compliments on my hair. It is getting very long. So.
I know, she went from having really super short hair to long hair. So they're asking how your Thanksgiving was.
It was good. I spent it at my mom's.
Yep, she was at mom's.
Today's my first day here.
Yep.
Then I returned to school on Sunday.
Oh, Tubular Guy 9 is asking how you like the greenhouse.
It's okay.
She's once it's up and she's starting to get fresh vegetables.
It's a circle right now.
Right, it's a circle right now, yeah. But it's going to be awesome when it's done.
Thank you for the compliments on my Pink Floyd shirt. I got it from Hot Topic.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into topic real quick, and then we'll get into the other thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about in a little while, about helping a fellow prepper and off-gridder as well. So anyway, So dependency on the electrical grid. We're going to talk about that. And I was sitting here and I was thinking about it and how dependent we are on the grid for everything.
I'm leaving now.
Okay, you're
This
leaving.
is boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go away, Heather. Don't go away, Matt. Just go away. No, I'm not kidding. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the dependency on the power grid and our obsession. Obviously, we've grown up. I've never grown up without electricity. A lot of us have never not known what it's like to have electricity. But as technology has moved forward, the dependency on electricity is just more and more and more, and we don't even realize it half the time. Usually when a disaster happens, that's when we realize how truly dependent on the system we are. When there's power outages for any kind of length of time, and the way that people act and stuff like that, it's definitely makes a difference. How things go. So it is amazing to me. I mean, if you think about and I try to use cash for as much as I possibly can when I go do anything. I very rarely use a card, and if I use a card, it's my debit from my checking account. I do not have credit cards that I use. Actually, the only credit card that I have is Kohl's credit card, and I've had them forever and ever and ever. And I use it sparingly, and I keep my balance very, very low on that. So, but that's the only time I do. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm buying something, I am paying cash. When there's something you got to get online, then obviously I put the money in the checking account and then I do it that way. But the amount of people that I see, even like in the grocery store, and they're getting just a few items and they're swiping their card, they don't even have that kind of cash, that small amount of cash on them. It is absolutely amazing to me that they don't have that, just some money on them. It's just, and then you figure everything that we rely on. If you have electric heat, or if you have anything like that, you're relying on that power system to stay on to keep that heat going, or to keep the things cool. If you're in the South and you need that air conditioning, right now in Florida is the nice time of year, and they're actually cold a lot of the times down there now because they're so used to that heat down there. So that when us Yankees come down there to visit, we're like walking around in muscle shirts at 50 degrees and they're like freezing and they got a jacket on, which I think is hilarious when that happens. But again, they're relying on that system. All of us are for power, to be able to see everything like that. And the only time you realize how truly dependent that we are is when that grid does go down for whatever reason, for power outages. Like there's that storm that hit the Midwest, and they got like 3 foot of snow, and there was 200,000 people without power. And now think about that in the context of how many of those people in that area, didn't have power, that were relying on that to heat. Here's to our kids, and here's to Heather and Pink Floyd. Well, thank you very much, Mountain Girl. Yeah, Dad turned her on to Pink Floyd early on, so she loves 80s music, and she loves Floyd. And that like one of her favorite bands, that and Queen. She loves Queen as well. So thank you very much for that donation as well. I appreciate that. But so anyway, now those people, you got 200,000 people without power for who knows how long. Okay, can they get in there and get the power on right away with 3 foot of snow and everything in an uproar with that? And so, those are things to think about. I think a lot of people don't think about that. So it is absolutely amazing, how fast things can break down, and that reliance on that power gets exposed. So I think it's really important to have backups. Having a backup generator, I mean, I know they're not cheap, but they're really, really good to have. And that's what you have that for that emergency, I just read an article, and it was an interesting article, and I wanted to share it with you. And it was talking about what happens after, with 7 days of no power. And it was based on an individual that went through it. And he said, at first it wasn't, the first day or so, we were waiting for the power to come back on, and it just didn't come back on because they had a storm or something like that. He said, the second day, it wasn't that bad. People were still kind of, started cooking the stuff out of the freezer because, but you didn't open up the fridge and freezer very much. By the third day, they were given different things to the neighbors because neighbors were coming and asking because they knew that they had stuff. And he said by the fourth and fifth day, he said then people started coming around that he didn't even know asking for food, and he was having to turn people away. And he was talking about people were getting alarmingly more agitated, as they went on. He said by the seventh day, because the power came back on that seventh day, but on that sixth and that seventh day, people were walking around armed, openly armed. And he said there was people that were gathering in front of their house, and hey, Smitty, oh, you got no notification? Well, I always do the live stream on Friday. Notification or not, I'm going to be here. So, but anyway, he said that by that seventh day, they were lining up around the front of the house, because they knew that they had supplies. They knew that these people were preppers. And so he and his family had guns, and, they had them out the windows, and they said, you better take off because we got you exactly where you want you. And they dispersed at that point. But, that just shows you how quickly and how fragile our system truly is. And once that power is gone, the unprepared are going to be very, very dangerous indeed. And again, if they know, what state was that? You know what, Kat? I can't remember what state they said. I think it was in the South someplace. I think it might have been Florida, to be honest with you. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was Florida that was going on there. So, but anyway, but it's that quickly how things can change that quickly, where people go from being decent, and that's why I've always said, when there's any kind of major event, we're going to have 3 days. You basically have a 72-hour window before things really, truly go haywire. And the sooner you realize something bad has happened and do something about it, the better it's going to be for you. If you have a bug out location to get to and those type of things, the sooner you get out and the sooner you get away from the nonsense, the better off you're going to be. So, those are things that are just just amazing to me, that how quickly things can break down, and it happens that fast. Guys, I'm going to ask again really quickly here. I know it's like twice in here really quick, but I want to see what kind of number we can hit today just for fun. I want to see if we can hit 500 tonight. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do so, I would appreciate it, okay? Now, I want to talk something. Now, we have a prepper in the community that needs help, and so I'm going to tell you what's going on. And some of you may know who it is, some of you may not. But Prepper Rabbit is a friend of mine. He lives down in Tennessee, and he has got his own place. And I've talked about him before, and you guys have, probably gone and checked out his channel. I'm not sure if you have, but so he is got his homestead and got his home. Well, right now, financially, he doesn't have the money. He's had some health issues and stuff like that, and it's getting colder in Tennessee now. So he just recently, I think he just got a wood stove, but he needs help with getting the wall kit and piping. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he has a PayPal donation button on his channel. So if you go to Prepper Rabbit, if you guys, it's totally up to you. I'm just going to put it out there, but he's a fellow prepper in need. He needs help getting that wall kit and that stove piping. So if you could go to his channel and make a donation to help him out, that would absolutely be appreciated. And so I wanted to put that out there for you guys. Now, he did not ask me to do this. I'm going to tell you right now. He was not the one that asked me to do this. Another fellow prepper contacted me, and I'm not going to say who because it doesn't matter, but they had asked me if I would put this out in my live stream tonight. So I said, yes, I absolutely would, because, when I talk about we are Legion and we are a big family, it's because we are a big family. And if there's somebody that needs help, then I think that we're talking about Prepper Rabbit. That's the name of his channel. If you go to his channel, it's Prepper Rabbit. And he needs some help getting a wall kit and piping to be able to put in his wood stove so he can stay warm. And, so just so you guys know, if you would like to make a donation to his channel, I think he does have a donate button on his channel. I'm pretty sure that he does. If you would go there, and if you can find it in your heart to help him out, then, that just helps out a fellow prepper that's in need. Another board for the bigger barn. Hey, Schmitty, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something. There's a couple things that I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to build a woodshed down the road here. I definitely got to do a woodshed, and so I got to do that, and I'm going to have a bigger building at some point. There's no doubt about that. But thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. Kickboxer, lady kickboxer found him. Okay, great. Yeah. So again, I would. What I'll do is when the video's done and it's up, I'll throw his link. I'll try to throw his link to his channel in the description when I throw that in there. So I'll throw that in there for that. And there's Prepper Rabbit right there. So I'm so touched that you would do this. I'm so humbled and touched by this. Thank you, brother. Hey, you're welcome, man. You know what? When I talk about, and I always truly mean it, when I say that we are all in this together, it's because we are. And it's because we're here for each other and we're here to help each other. That's what makes the difference with getting things done. And, you guys know I've been blessed. I've absolutely been blessed, and I've been, helped out. And I don't go and I don't ask for help. Okay. And he was not asking for help. Somebody else contacted me and said he needed help. What I do is shout out for him during my live stream because I get a decent amount of people, obviously, in my chats. I absolutely wanted to do that for him because, like I said, I tell you what, I've been cold. It is no fun being cold. And so, and we are this huge family. We are a huge group of people that truly can make a difference. And I mean, $5 or $10 can truly make a difference for somebody that needs that help. So anybody that wants to help out Prepper Rabbit, I absolutely appreciate that. I'm not telling you have to, but if you find it in your heart that you want to help him, that would very much be appreciated. So, what about some shipping container for your storage? I've thought about that too, and that's a possibility, but I'm not 100% sure I want to do that. Because what I want to look, I'll put the link up. I will. Oh, Prepper Rabbit said he does have a PayPal. It's on his page. Okay, it's in his About section. All right, so he does have a PayPal. So if you guys want to go there, on his channel and hit his donate button and it'll take you right to PayPal. That would be the best way to do it for him. So again, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. But I've thought about a shipping container, but with another building, building has dual purposes. A shipping container has one purpose, and that's just to put stuff in there for storage. If I put another building in, I could also make extra living quarters for somebody that they were going to visit. Or in that emergency situation when the time comes, I have other places for people to be, so that they can sleep and be out of the weather and those type of things. Believe it or not, the greenhouse, as big as that's going to be, that could be an area where people could sleep, be out of the rain, whatever. Again, that's, I will. I absolutely will. But Prepper Rabbit asked me to call him when the show's done. And I told him that I would do that. But anyway, why not add on to the building you already have? I've thought about that too, Tony, and I may do that. I'm not sure what way I'm going to go yet with everything. The first priority is finishing up this greenhouse and getting this finished, and then we're going to try to go from there. Get me an Amish building. Yeah, I may do that, Mr. Rose. I absolutely might do that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure which way I want to go yet. It might be cheaper for me to add on an extension. And what I would do is where the wood stove is, where you see that window, take that window out and turn that into a walkway and open that area up back there. And so put another whole branch onto my existing building. And if I do that, I will put in a couple of rooms, 2 to 3 rooms down there, turn one into a spare bedroom and, maybe a room for Eddie and then a room for storage. So, I probably would do something like that. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do it yet. It's, that's just going to come as we go and we'll just see how it goes. But I absolutely may do something like that. I'm not 100% sure yet. So we're going to have to just see where we're at. And, it all depends. When we get into the spring, obviously, first thing I want to do when the spring gets here is put in the geothermal run for the solar system, or not so. I mean, for the greenhouse. I want to do that. Hey, Mike, I know I'm off subject, Ed, but how big will your root cellar be and how will you construct it? Thanks, brother. Okay, and thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate that. What I plan on doing with the root cellar, I want to go behind the house into the hill itself, so that way the hill is actually protecting it as well. I'm going to actually have Bill come in and dig me out an entire area, open that up. I want to have a concrete pad poured for part of it, and then have part of it just stone. Okay, so I'm going to make sure the drainage is good and all that is all set up ahead of time. Have that into the hill first, then make it, do concrete and stuff like that. I want to put in a pretty decent size because I want to have part of it, the part that is not going to be a concrete floor, I want that to be my future freezer. Okay, so I want to block that area off with a wall, a regular, concrete wall in there, and have that smaller area for my freezer area, so that I'll take 5-gallon buckets and I will freeze them and put them in there. And then that way I have a whole area that'll be for my freezer. The other area is I want it to be, at least maybe 12 by 40, something like that, have a big area so that I could have a lot of room for storage. Also double as a bomb shelter if we needed to be a bomb shelter, and make it big enough that I could actually even expand further back into the hill if I want to from under there. So again, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it all yet, but I definitely want to do it, and then have a concrete top as well, so that it is completely a contained unit underground, and then rebury everything, so that it has that thermal mass of, with it and everything, and it'll keep that nice and cool. And that's the way I want to do my root cellar. So that's the way I plan on doing that. But I'm not going to go cheap on it. I'm going to go extra rebar. The concrete blocks, I'm actually going to fill in the center parts of the blocks with extra mortar. I don't care. I want to do it. If you're going to do it right, you do it right the first time. Go overkill. I don't have a problem ever with overkill, because it's going to make it better ever. How is Ed Jr. doing? He's doing very well. I saw him today when I went and picked up his sister. And I asked him today, I said, will you be joining us next week for breakfast again? And he said, yes, I will. So, no, he's doing fine. He's just, he's trying to find his way in life. And I get that. At some point, do I think he'll be back home? I sure do. And that's why I want to have another, I probably will do an addition onto this building. Or what I may do for him, if he does come back home, put another whole building, a smaller one, like a 12 by 24 for him, and convert that into his own home. So he can be here and be at the homestead, but have his own place, so he can have his own privacy and stuff like that. I think if he comes home, then that's what we may do for him, because I think it would be better for him. So, yep, young man has to find his own way. Exactly. So I'm letting him. And so I asked him if he was going to be coming home to visit over the winter, and he said probably not over the winter, because he knows what it's like up here in the wintertime. So it's not always pleasant. So, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. Your left eye looks like it's got something going on. I'm looking at, I don't think so. But all right, well, thank you for saying that. But no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Feel good, actually. I've been taking my vitamin C, and I take a multivitamin as well, because of being around other people, and like for Thanksgiving, and with people being sick. Yeah, I don't want that. I definitely don't want that. Guys, if you haven't shot me that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask again, because like I said, I just want to see how high we can. I want to hit 500 today, and we're already at 264. So if you haven't shot a thumbs up, please do so, and I would appreciate that. But it's amazing to me. Like with Thanksgiving, it's a great time to connect with people, to sit down and just relax and just try to enjoy each other's company. I know that all families don't always get along, and it's the same in my family as well. Last year was the first year in a long time that I had gone to my sister's for Thanksgiving, because I had issues with her husband. We don't always get along. So, and there's a lot of reasons for that, which I'm not going to get into because that's personal stuff and it doesn't even matter. But anyway, last year she had asked me, she said, would you come for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas? And I said, sure. And I even told her, I said, listen, I won't start any crap. I won't say anything negative or be nasty. And I walked up and I shook his hand and I said, hey, how you doing? And I was decent to him. Now, I didn't go out of my way to sit down and have a big old talk with him. So, yeah, lack of Arizona green tea affected me. Yeah, but it's a time of year because it's cold out there tonight, guys. It's cold. So I got to have my tea. So I got to drink my tea now because we're in that type of. I don't want something cold to drink. I want something warm that's going to warm your insides. How's mom doing? I talked to her today. She sounded kind of rough still. She was very gravelly with talking. So it was not. She didn't sound great. And but the boys, my niece's boys, are 4 and 6, and so they're in school during the day. And, at that age, those kids get everything and they bring it home. I'm going to tell you what, guys, I never, ever, ever got sick. And I used to laugh at people when they would get sick all the time. I'd be like, you guys got sick, right? So then I had my kids. And then my kids got to school age and they brought every freaking bug and crap that you ever saw. And I used to get sick constantly. Because they kept bringing that stuff home and I'm hugging and kissing them and trying to take care of them. And then, and then I would get sick. So no fun at all. And now that they're out of school and now Heather's in college, obviously, but, I don't get sick again. So it's nice, but, I have a father-in-law that tries to fire me up all the time. He will be here in 2 weeks for a couple of weeks. Oh, that's okay. You know what? You take that with a grain of salt. You know what? Put him back on the defensive. Say, what I would do if somebody is trying to get you going all the time like that. I would say, why do you act that way? What is wrong with you that you do something like that? And don't do it as an attack. Do it as a question. Honestly ask them because I'm sure you probably honestly want to know what this guy's problem is and why they act the way that they do. So do it in that way. First of all, you're going to completely catch him off guard because they're not going to expect that. And then they got to own up to why they act the way that they do. So that's what I would do. Actually, I'm an LPN. I'm not an RN, never was an RN. I'm an LPN. And I am still an LPN. I still have my license. I just have not worked in the nursing field. Actually, in February, it will be 2 years. And I can honestly say I don't miss it for a second. I miss my patients. I'll be honest with you. I took care of some awesome people. And actually, to be 100% honest, some of my favorite people that I ever took care of through the years, they're all gone. Because I did a lot of geriatrics. So some of my favorite people that I've ever taken care of, they're all gone. And so I have one young man that I still go out and see periodically. And liquid propane nurse. I don't know what you mean by that. But there's one young man that's still alive that I go see, and his health is not good. And it breaks my heart. I'll still go and visit him. But he's my buddy. I started taking care of him when he was 10. He is, was he 30, 31 now? Something like that. But I worked with his family 3 different times. And she actually recently asked me if I would come back, and I said no. So, because it's like they're all the way in Webster, New York. And that's a freaking drive. So, but, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I'll be honest with you. I burned out. You talk to any nurse and ask them what the burnout rate is, and they will tell you. I got 25 years as an LPN. I did 5 years as a CNA before that. I put in my time. I just don't have it in me anymore. I just don't. And being able to be here and do what I need to do here, it's a change. It's different. And the thing is, it's like, so, I went from helping people that way, and now I help people this way, and I love doing it, and I love trying to help people. I love waking people up so that they'll help themselves. That's the best part about it. I'm going to tell you what, if I had to go all the way back coming out of high school, I would have actually gone and been a physical therapist and not a nurse. I would have absolutely gone differently. I would have been a physical therapist. And I've had people ask me, why is that? Why would you have been a physical therapist? And the reason I would have done that is because I worked as a physical therapy aide when I got out of nursing school for 6 weeks while I was waiting to find out if I passed my nursing boards. Because back then you didn't find out right away. You had to wait 6 weeks after you took your boards. And when you work as a physical therapist, people get better and they go home, which is awesome. And you're helping them to get better so they can go home. And we had one lady, and I'll never forget this, and she was being very stubborn and wouldn't do her rehab and stuff like that. And so, they told me. And so I talked with her. I sat down and I spoke with her, and I said, what do you want? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, do you want to be in a nursing home? Because I'm going to tell you what, I said, I've worked nursing homes for years. And I said, you don't want to be in a nursing home. Do you want to get better and go home? And she said, well, yeah. And I said, then you better do your therapy. Because if you don't, if you're refusing to do it and you don't do it, even though it hurts, I said, they're going to put you in a nursing home. And believe me, that's a one-way ticket. That lady got on board and got squared away and got better. And she ended up going home, which was fantastic. As a nurse, in dealing with nursing homes and sick people and stuff like that, we deal with death. That's what we deal with. That's why I have no fear of death. I've actually watched people take their absolute last breath and leave this world, So that's what my job has been for a long, long time. And I don't want to deal with death anymore. I want to deal with life. I want to deal with helping people to wake up and realize what an awesome world we live in, and they can do something about it to make their own life better. And so that's a great thing, and it's a very positive thing, and it's definitely much more fulfilling at this point in my life. I will never regret being a nurse, and I'm very happy that I did what I did. Do you need to EMP proof your deep cycle batteries? Yeah, well, the batteries would be okay themselves, but the hardware with it, my inverter, my charge controllers, I definitely, when I put in my new building, I do plan on making that EMP proof. So I'm absolutely going to do that. Guys, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, what are we at, 8:30? Because I want to see if we can hit 500 today. So I'm going to ask more often today just because I'm going to be a pain in the behind. And also because it just annoys the crap out of my trolls that I ask for thumbs up. So if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it. So here's the deal, and I promise. We hit 500 and I won't ask for any more. So it's a win-win. So that's what we're going for tonight. Nurses have the highest divorce rate. And actually, you know what else, Don? The biggest drug abusers in the professional field are nurses because we have access to everything. So, he needs the wall. Prepper Rabbit needs the wall kit where you put the kit into the wall itself, from the wood stove out of the stove, the wall kit to go through the wall, and then the piping that goes up, and it's that the triple wall piping is what you have to go when you go out of the house. Like, you can use black stove piping inside, but once you leave inside, you have to have that triple wall going out so high above your building. So that's what Prepper Rabbit needs. So, yeah, so somebody was asking, so that's why I wanted to make sure I told them. Don says, everybody thumbs up or else. That's pretty funny. Oh, my God, that's too funny. But, yeah, so there, like I said, it's I have, here at the homestead, guys, I have stuff to keep me busy and going for years and years and years. Because once I get the next couple of projects, the next, obviously, the greenhouse is going on right now. I have some people coming over tomorrow that are going to help me again tomorrow, and we're going to try to work on getting that completely domed up. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that or not, but we're going to try. We're going to make a good effort on it. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So you're going to see videos about that tomorrow if you're interested in what's going on with the build of the greenhouse. Once the greenhouse is done and I get the other stuff set up inside, I'm not going to do the aquaponics until the spring. because I don't have the geothermal set up yet, and I can't keep that greenhouse to a temperature where I need to keep it at this point. So once, is there still a sale going? Yes, there is, Happy Elf. Yep, there sure is. That's going on until the 2nd. So, but yeah, I'm going to tell you what, with the greenhouse situation, that is super, super exciting. I will definitely be growing early this year coming up and getting some plants going. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I have a tremendous amount of seeds. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many seeds that I have. I plan on using some of those seeds to germinate, and I will show all that, and we'll get all that going. And is the ground frozen up there? Yeah, pretty much already the ground is frozen. Yeah, yep. Does Prepper Rabbit have a P.O. box? You know what? That I do not know if Ricky, if he has a P.O. box or not. What you could do is you could go over to his channel and shoot him a message, and he will get back to you. So you could ask him that way, and and find out if he has a P.O. box, because I have no idea if he has one or not. Oh, and just so you guys know too, as far as my moderators giveaway, okay, I was checking how many moderators I actually have, and I talked to Mike, and Mike is one of my moderators. So he says it's not fair for him to be a moderator because he also runs my website and stuff like that. So he felt that he shouldn't be in the giveaway for the contest for that. So realistically, we have 4 other moderators that are going to be, and you're going to see Mr. Rose is there, JJ is there, and we have a grand total of 4 people that are going to be in that giveaway. So you guys got a 25% chance, those 4 do, of getting a $50 gift card, because I'm going to give away a $50 gift card also to one of my moderators. So, and that's, again, just my appreciation for these guys coming in here week after week, 3 days a week, and giving me their time and being part of this. And I appreciate them. I really, truly do. So, they do a great job, and they keep the chat clean, which is awesome. And it's very, very appreciated, because there's no way I could do this, talk to you guys, try to answer questions, and then try to, weed out people that are saying stupid stuff on top of it. And so, that's really, really appreciated. Can you use a tent wood stove in a house? You can. You absolutely can, but you're going to have to make sure that the area where you're going to have that wood stove, it's protected. Because, you don't want sparks coming off and getting on the wood floor or anything like that. So you're going to want to make sure that whole area, that you're going to have that up on blocks or, fire brick, that type of stuff. So that's definitely important to do that if you're going to go with a tent stove in the house for a bedroom or something like that. So I think that's really, really important. So always safety first. Whatever you guys are going to do, you got to realize when you're dealing with fire, you're dealing with an opportunity for things to go really, really bad, really, really fast. Please ask questions in English. Yeah, right. Well, yeah, it got to be English if you're asking questions, because I cannot answer them otherwise. Let's see. Let's see. I'm a prepper. I donate my food when I cycle through it. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's a good thing. I mean, the food pantries always need help. They're always, this is also, I wanted to talk about this really quickly too, because I've always found this to be absolutely amazing. So you have, this time of year, Thanksgiving, right straight through Christmas, man, everybody's giving their time. They're donating their time. They're helping out this charities. You have the Salvation Armies out there in droves with their kettle drives and all those things. And you have all kinds of charities that are getting all kinds of help between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then when January comes, people forget and they go on with their lives. But those people still need help. They need help the rest of the year. So, I find that interesting how quickly people stop being as generous after the holidays are over. And I always thought that was really, really interesting. But Let's see what we got here. People help during the holidays. What about the rest of the year? Exactly, Bruce Foster. Exactly. And like I said, and that's what I agree. I think that we need to, as decent people, realize that people are in need at all times. So, do you know about the magnolia trees? I do not, B. I have no idea. I heard not to use plywood between the buckets because it draws moisture to the lids. Never heard that. Never heard that. Ed, have you ever had a grid down in the winter? Okay, yes. When I lived out in Scottsville, and we had a couple of major storms come through, and I can't remember which one it was. Well, the blizzard of 77, 78 that winter, I was in Buffalo, New York when that one hit. So we were definitely grid down in that situation. And then when I was older and God, I'm trying to remember what year it was. It was maybe 91, I think, in Rochester. They had the ice storm come through, and everybody was without power. I think it was 91. I can't remember the exact year. If anybody's from the Rochester area knows what year that it was, if you would throw that up here, I would appreciate that. But I believe it was 91. There was a major, major ice storm, and we were without power. I mean, it was like 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. It was crazy. And we just dealt with it. We had the wood stove because we lived out, I wasn't in the city, I was in the country. So we had the wood stove, and, and that's what we did. 98, Mountain Girl said. Yeah, that was a different one, I think. That was, because I'm trying to, I know there was an ice. Let's see. So 93. Okay, Smitty said 93. Okay, so yeah, it was a major ice storm that came through, and I can remember going out driving around afterwards because, of course, I was young, so I'm like, I got to go see what's going on. And it was wild. It was absolutely wild. But again, we had 67 and 79 in Chicago, Robert just said. Yeah. Well, I like I said, the one 77, 78 in Buffalo, New York, I was in Buffalo living there at that time when that one hit. That was wild. I mean, the snow was so high, you could stand on a pile of snow and touch a street light. I mean, there's pictures that you can see that. And it was just, I mean, there was huge trees into houses. It was crazy, crazy. But I've gone through a couple storms when I was younger without power, and just like everybody else, I just dealt with it because we knew the power was coming back on and everything was going to be fine. So, I mean, I was asleep at the wheel and did not realize that, these are things that can happen to everybody. Do I expect to use a lot of electricity? With the greenhouse, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to see what the draw is going to be with the pumps and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you what I'm absolutely going to be doing before I do my setup for the greenhouse. I'm increasing my battery bank. So I will absolutely be doing that, and I'm going to go with the lithium ion, I believe. I'd love to go with Edison, but the Edisons are way, way expensive, so that's not really realistic. So what do we have? We got 450 in the chat. Guys, if we can get, let's see, we're 372. If you haven't done a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I would appreciate it. And Cybertruck is an EMP proof. I missed that comment. I'm sorry. There was an ice storm in St. Louis in 2011. Power was out for my house for about 2 weeks. Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't any fun, But that's the other part about it. It's like, we need to take those lessons and use them as those are gifts right now. And it sounds terrible to say that, but any storm that happens now, that's a gift to a prepper because it shows us where we're weak and where we're strong, what we need to improve on, and where our weaknesses are. So, those are any kind of storm that happens now that's not a major SHTF type of situation. That is absolutely a gift right now. And so use that gift to tweak your systems, to figure out where you're weak, where you need to be stronger, be it candles, be it, how much kerosene do you have on hand? How much gasoline do you keep on hand? Do you have a backup generator? And if you don't, why don't you as a prepper have a backup generator? Those are all things that you really need to think about. So There is solar capabilities for SHTF that are EMP. Well, you know what? Like I said, you can, if you have an off-grid system, like I have my off-grid system, all I need to do is EMP proof my battery room. So when I build the new battery room, it is absolutely going to be EMP proofed. So then that way, when an EMP happens, the only thing that will be affected would be the diodes in the back of my solar panels, which I have backup diodes, and I would pop out the old ones and put new ones in. And that's the only thing that I would have to worry about, because everything else would be protected. And that's what I absolutely plan on doing. I definitely want to have that protection for, my system, so that I can continue to run after any kind of event that happens. So, Ed, if you pick me for a gift card winner, I want to give it to Prepper Rabbit, please. Okay, Sean, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I don't know who's going to get picked yet, obviously. So there's literally over 1,000 comments. I think the last time I checked, it was over 1,100 comments on the giveaway video. So there is going to be, there's going to be a lot of people in that giveaway. So let's see. No, you actually may have to replace the bypass diodes from a side. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's like I plan on being as prepared as I possibly can be. I hope to keep my system up and running, because if I have my system up and running after an event, at least my neighbors would have an area where they could come to charge up, their batteries, their cell phones, whatever. They'd have a place that they could come to where they could use that power, to charge up whatever they needed to have. We have no real idea what effect an EMP will have. Yeah, because the last one was a Carrington event in 1812, and we've come a long way since then. So it definitely will be an interesting situation when we get to that point. Let's see. Hey, L. Gibson. It's so crazy how many folks don't know that when the electric goes in the gas lines and the water will go out too after a while. You know what? And that is amazing that they don't either. And thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. That is something that's absolutely true. Once the power goes out, it's like I said, I've talked about this before. If you guys live in a city, suburbia, wherever you are, the first thing you do if the power goes out, fill up every freaking container that you can get your hands on. Fill them all up with water, because that water is going to stop running at some point. And the quicker that you can fill up those containers with water is going to help you out. And that's important, because I'll tell you what, without water, you're in deep trouble in a hurry. So being able to have that's important. And again, there's not going to be any gasoline to be able to get out of the pumps at the gas station anymore. All those things are affected with the loss of electricity, and people don't take that into consideration. Like I said, I think it's really important to try to be as ready as we possibly can be. Think through everything that you possibly can think of. Make sure if you have gas, you're rotating that gas out. I told you guys before, I do it every 6 months. I rotate my gas every 6 months. So, I use up the old gas and I refill it up with new gas. So, that's why you keep the old orange juice jugs. Nothing wrong with that. Yep, you have to do what you have to do. Absolutely. Let's see. What do we have? 403 thumbs up. All right, so we got like 15 more minutes to go here, guys. So let's see if we can hit 500 today. That's just for fun. I just want to see if we can hit 500 thumbs up. So we're at 404. If we hit 500, I don't ask for any more. So if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you hit that thumbs up. There are 2 Trident subs ready to wipe out North Korea off the map if they ever fire an EMP. Oh, and you know what? And anybody that would go after us, we have plenty of ships all over the place and subs that would absolutely decimate whatever area attacked us. They absolutely would do that in a minute. So Does your greenhouse have electricity requirements? Yeah, Sandy, it's going to, because I'm going to have the pumps running for the aquaponics system once I get that set up and going. So that's going to happen next year. And I'm going to get things set up now over the winter. Once we get everything together, I'm going to get it set up. I'm just not going to run water through it yet. But once we get into running and getting the fish and all that, that's going to have to be year round. The pumps are going to be going. There's going to be sensors for the greenhouse to moderate the temperature. If the temperature goes below a certain degree, once I get the geothermal in, it's going to turn on the fans. And so that's going to obviously take power as well, and to circulate that air. So yeah, there's going to definitely be electricity needs for the greenhouse, and that's why I absolutely have to increase my battery bank so that I have more power to use, because I'm going to have to leave the power on to run the greenhouse all the time. So that's going to be very, very important. So for every 2 liters soda I drink, I fill with water. There's nothing wrong with that, Deborah. Those are good containers to do it with too, because they're made to last. Milk jugs are okay, but milk jugs won't last long. That's the only problem with milk jugs, is they're not designed for long-term use, and then if they get cold, they're going to freeze and they're going to break. So that definitely does happen. So what do we got here? I think I would make a separate system for the greenhouse. Yeah, you know what? I may do that. I don't know yet. I just got to say, if I get a big enough battery bank, it's not going to matter. So, I mean, right now, like I said, I get good power. This time of year, not so much. But if I have a good enough battery bank, it's going to make a big difference. So we can have, go with several days without, sunshine. And right now, I don't have that capacity to do that. So that's definitely something that has to be addressed, and I'm going to absolutely address that. So, that's what I'm going to be working on here real soon. Honestly, I plan on getting that in place and set up before the spring. So I will definitely be upgrading I'm going to keep the batteries that I have, but I'm going to upgrade as well. Yep. Bruce Foster's just said, read my mind, add batteries to the system for the greenhouse. Yeah, no, I absolutely know I need more. I absolutely need more. So, and it's going to take more power, obviously, with the greenhouse. But again, it's going to be worth it. And like with anything, guys, it's an investment. And because of where I'm at with the greenhouse, it actually makes me be a couple of zones further south, so that I can, and like I said, especially once I have the geothermal in as well, I basically can grow year round, and I can grow cold weather crops like kale and like cabbage and stuff like that in the wintertime. And so, that's definitely something that is going to be, that's definitely the way I'm going to do it. And like I said, I'm going to tell you right now, and like I said, I'm not an expert with aquaponics. Don't claim to be an expert with aquaponics. I'm going to learn as I go. And pumps will run 24/7. Yep. And the water pumps will use some juice. Yeah. Oh, I know that, Kevin. Absolutely, I know that. And that's why I have to prepare everything. Each layer puts you one zone warmer. Yeah, and the greenhouse is going to have 2 layers. The original base model comes with just 1 layer. But, I got the second layer as well. And that air in between those 2 layers acts as an insulation as well. So it's definitely going to be, you need a forklift battery. No, actually, like I said, I'm either going to go with lithium ion, or I'm going to go, if I could do it, I got to really look at it to do it. But I would love to do the Edison batteries. They're not cheap, but they would be the awesome way to go. And they're really awesome batteries, and they last like forever. You're looking at like 50 years on an Edison battery or more. So it would last long after I'm gone. So that would be very, very cool. How often should I change the water in a potable 250-gallon tank? You know what? As long as it's not sitting out in the sun and getting a lot of sun exposure, I would say I would change it out like once every 6 months, just to make the water as fresh as you possibly could. That would be my advice to that. How long will the water last in a 2-liter bottle? Again, what I would do again, I would rotate everything needs to be rotated. That includes water. So what I would do with what I would suggest to anybody that's stocking water on your calendar, you get your calendar every year and you have that date. Either be it like for me, my dates that I do is I do April and October. Okay, like for my gas. So I know that when April 1st comes, I start using my old gas, and then I refill those containers. As soon as I use whatever I use, that gets refilled and set aside. When October comes, I do the same exact thing. And I go and I use all that old gas first, and it usually takes me the whole month to use that gas, and that's what I do. And so, and I'm actually thinking about adding on more, getting more gas cans, to be honest with you. But the water, I would do the same thing. Every 6 months, I would have a date, like do April and October, and just rotate that out. And if you rotate that out, that's going to make a big difference in how that all goes. So I should be getting tomatoes in about 2 weeks. I have 6 micro tomato plants growing now. That's very cool, Maverick. That's very cool. The Maverick Prepper's doing that. Yeah, and you know what? When it comes to my system, as I do this, guys, it's going to be a learning experience for me. And I'm going to learn. And as I learn, you're going to get to see my mistakes. You're going to get to see my victories. And it's going to be learning together. And that's the cool thing about it. And that's what I'm really excited about, is to be able to show you guys, okay, this worked, this didn't work. So let's not do that. Let's do this, And this way, if you guys decide to, even on a smaller scale down the road, do the same thing, you can follow through and then realize, by seeing my mistakes that I'm going to make. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I know I will make mistakes, guaranteed. But that's okay. So why do you filter your well water? I just do it as an extra precaution, to be honest with you. I don't have to filter my well water, but I do, just because it's just an extra layer of protection. And that's the only reason that I filter my well water. And, it just makes me feel better. So that's why I do that. So, all right, guys. So we're going to do what we normally do at this point, but I'm going to ask really quickly again, if you haven't done a thumbs up yet, if you would do that. We're 428 thumbs up. Let's see if we can hit 500 before the end of the show. So if you haven't done a thumbs up yet, I would appreciate it if you would do that. And I got to mention this, of course, because we have to do it every time. We are Legion. And the reason I say we are Legion is because we are many. All of us preppers and off-gridders out there, there's so many of us out there. We're this huge family. And that's what's really cool. And a lot of people that aren't in the right mindset don't get. They don't get that we're a family and that we're here for each other and we're here to help out each other if we can. Like the people that are coming tomorrow to help me, okay? They're planning on putting a greenhouse up themselves. Guess who's going to be there to help them put up their greenhouse? I will, because they helped me. And even if they hadn't helped me, if they called me and said, Ed, we're putting up this greenhouse, will you help us? I'd be there, because that's what it's about. It's about working together and helping. So anyway, saying that, we are Legion and we are many and we're this big family. Where's everybody from tonight? I want to see where everybody's from. Oklahoma. We got our cabin in the woods. It's from Oklahoma. Did this freeze? We got Connecticut. Montreal, Canada, Western Massachusetts, New Mexico, West Virginia, Linden, Texas, Sodus, Michigan, the Netherlands, very cool, Georgia, Brooklyn, New York City, Erie, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Oklahoma, Connecticut, Mobile, Alabama, Kansas, Knoxville, Tennessee, Florida, Ohio, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Chicago, Oklahoma again, Delaware, North Carolina, Michigan, Siberia, Russia? Really? Or are you just joking? I don't know. Lebanon, New Hampshire, or Lisbon, New Hampshire. I'm sorry. Let's see. We got Maryland, New Hampshire, Florida, Phoenix. Very nice. California, Amish country. Very cool. Kentucky. What do we got? Wyoming, Minnesota, Saskatchewan. Very nice up in Canada. Very nice. West Tennessee, Rhode Island, Nova Scotia, Canada, North Carolina, Ramseyville, New York, Austin, Texas, Willis, Texas, Norway, very cool. Scotland, very nice. Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, very cool. Texas, Central Indiana. Hey, thank you very much for the donation. And I cannot read what you said because it's not in English, but thank you for that donation. Indiana, Corning, New York, West Virginia, Oakland, Oregon, very nice. Anderson, South Carolina, another Alabama, Minnesota, Missouri, New Brunswick, Canada, Nebraska, BC, Canada, Texas, Central Pennsylvania, Northern Idaho, Texas. So you can see, guys, we are all over the place. We are all over this country. We are all over the world. We are the ones, and I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to say it because we are a family, okay? We're a huge, huge family. We're a huge network. We are everywhere, and that's exactly right, Kevin. Just say up, and that's exactly right. We are everywhere. We have a lot more strength and power than people realize that we have because we are the ones that are awake. And we are the ones, when the time comes, can truly make a difference to help people. We really, truly can. And I think it's important that we try to do that if we can. So I just want to remind everybody, if you get that opportunity, when the time comes, try to be as helpful as you can be. I mean, some people won't, and I get it, and I do. I understand why you won't. But again, in good conscience, for me, I can't let little kids starve. I'm going to try not to anyway. You know what I mean? It's like if I can't do it to a point where it's going to affect my group or my family. But if I can help, I'm going to try to help, and that's just where I'm at with that. And, we all have our own thing that we're going to do, and that's our own decision. But that's why I prep the way that I do, and I will continue to prep the way that I do. So, and if that means I get another whole building and fill it up with food, that's what I'm going to do. So, and that's okay, and that's the game plan. So, and in the meantime, I'll continue to do as much as I possibly can here. To get the infrastructure in place. So again, when that time comes, with having the greenhouse and having that up and running, and that can feed a lot of people, and I have a ton of seeds, and so I plan on playing with that and seeing what works and all that type of stuff. So again, I just want to remind everybody once again here before I do. I know we're pretty much almost at the time, but I'm going to go a few minutes over. I want to remind a couple things. A fellow prepper needs help, Prepper Rabbit. If you get that opportunity and find it in your heart, go to Prepper Rabbit's channel. He definitely needs help with getting the kit to go through the wall for his wood stove and the outside piping and his triple wall piping that he has to have on the outside. Those are not cheap. I know that like a 1 foot or a 3 foot section is like $100. I mean, they're not cheap at all. So if you guys find it in your heart and you want to help him, go to his channel. He does have a donate button on his channel, and that's right through PayPal. So if you feel it in your heart, you want to help him, go and do that, okay? And he's not the one that asked for that help. Another fellow prepper contacted me and asked me if I would give a shout out to him to help him, and that's why I'm doing it, okay? Also, guys, again, if you were a 75,000 subscriber giveaway, go to that video, 75,000 subscriber giveaway video, comment. Make sure you give a thumbs up. You have to be a subscriber to be in the contest. We will be doing the drawing on Sunday. Okay, so that's going to happen on Sunday on my live stream, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. So look for us then. All right. So anyway, guys, remember, I was going to tell you something else here real quick too. I completely went blank what I was going to say. But anyway, I was going to say thank you to my moderators again who do an awesome job every single time. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You do a great job keeping the chat clean. Will solar panels still work if we were to go into a nuclear winter? JJ, good question, and I will answer that really quickly. They will, but they will not produce a lot of power because so much of the sun will be blocked out, but they would still work. But it would be very, very, it'd be like super overcast day where you don't get a lot of power. And it would be like that for a very, very long time. So yeah, they would still work, but you would not get a tremendous amount of power out of them. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. It's really important to remember that, okay? And, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know, So also remember, guys, STD is one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, whatever you are trying to do, You can do it. The only one that's going to stop you is you. Nobody else can stop you. Oh, Deb Smith is saying she's from Hawaii. Okay, very cool. Nice. I'm glad you're here tonight with us, Deb. But remember, guys, nobody can stop you. Whatever you're going, and it doesn't have to be prepping. It doesn't have to be off grid. Whatever you're driving for, whatever you're striving to do in life, you can do it. And the only one stopping you from getting there is you. Okay. I hope everybody's doing well. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Look for the build tomorrow. We're going to be working on a greenhouse. Okay. So I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.